Hey, what is going on, freedom fighters? Welcome back to Break the Chains Media. Today is September 15th, 2025. A nice Monday evening. The sun is warm and the world is good after a tumultuous and difficult weekend and a lot of emotions, a lot of energy, and I guess all I can say is that we will persevere. We will press on. There is a lot to get into today on this Break the Chains Media Monday night broadcast. So thank you all for joining me. We are going to be discussing a lot of resurging thoughts and a lot of resurging theories. I know there are so many different things we can go into right now as far as what's on X and what's on Facebook and how different theories have risen and gone down. A lot of flash in the pan stuff, a lot of interesting stuff. Still, the bottom line is the entire situation is still very fluid. They do have a suspect in custody right now, and that suspect was brought in custody allegedly by the reports from his father, who is a sheriff in the area. So there's a lot of interesting ties to how we got to this. Lack of better terms, the mainstream narrative of what is taking place right now. And then we also have to talk about a little bit more of the conspiratorial or fringe theories or fringe discussions that are currently on display right now. Let's make sure, really quick, I want to make sure that the audio is good. Conspiratorial, yeah, audio is good. My voice is a little raspy because it's been a busy weekend for me. I was out of town. I did a lot of traveling this weekend. It was a great weekend, but trying to stay in the know as far as in the world of this breaking and evolving story, day to day, hour to hour, minute to minute. Things were coming and going as it was while trying to enjoy my vacation. So it was a difficult weekend, but I am here. I am back. We are nose to the grindstone, as it were. And so we're going to talk about that. We are also going to talk about some things happening in Colorado. We're going to talk about some just what we can do in light of this situation that we are now faced as a country and as a world. But if this is the first time joining Break the Chains Media, hit that thumbs up button. Give me a follow. We do live streams here on Break the Chains Media every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday nights into the evening. Still trying to nail down the perfect time frame, but it's in the evening for sure, at least. And we just talk about all kinds of stuff. But right now, we're obviously talking about the big major thing, the major discussion that's happening right now, and trying to apply that to our daily lives, trying to apply that to how we live our lives and how we move forward in uncertain times. You know, because we are living in a constantly evolving world that we're living in right now, and I only hope for the best, but we have to prepare for the worst. So Break the Chains Media is here for you to tie in all the things that all of the larger channels are talking about, while tying in with local politics, local news, and my own take on it, because I'm not a dude wearing a suit. I am the jack of all trades here. I am the producer. I am the editor. I am the content creator. I am the aggregator of the sourcing of the media, the media personality. I am it all. So welcome to Break the Chains Media, and I appreciate your support. If you do want to support the channel further, you can go to breakthechains.media. Check out all of my other socials. I got Facebook, Instagram, X, and YouTube. I got articles that I do need to update. I do need to add some more here. Kind of rebrand and refresh the website, but breakthechains.media is the landing page. Realm Walker Hot Sauce is the sauce to support the channel. If you are interested, you can pick up a one of many different flavors I have here. I make them myself, grown in the backyard, bottled here, all made. Fermented hot sauces. Travel the 9 realms of Norse mythology through hot sauce. This is the only thing I contribute to try to benefit the channel here. I'm not here to make a lot of money. I'm not here with donors and promoters and all these things, and I'm not trying to coffin surf, as it were, by explaining and promoting this kind of thing in such difficult times. But that is what I do to help me support the channel. Other than that, we're gonna get right into it, folks. So we have a lot of things to get into, and first things first, I do want to I want to make sure, following the actual, I don't want to bury the lead in my headline here. We have to stand in truth and avenge Charlie Kirk's assassination honorably. So how we do that is very important. And like I said, that there is so many different articles, there's so many different things in the internet, in the interspace, in the conversation right now to either smear his name, taint his legacy, shift the narrative, everyone's trying to get an edge on this story. And the most important thing that we can do is stand in truth and report and observe things and discuss things objectively. Okay? So, first thing I want to make sure that everyone knows is that this post right here was an edited, an altered image to promote an end goal to the agenda that they're trying to prevent. They being the radical extreme left, the hard left, the extreme leftist, the people that are praising Charlie Kirk's assassination. They're praising his death. These people try to spin and pulpit these disgusting talking points that, it's not one of our guys, and screw the MAGA base, screw the Trumpism, because it was one of you, it was all one of you, it's always been one of you. White nationalist extremists are the one to blame for gun violence, which makes absolutely no sense in the grand scheme of even trying to do mental gymnastics to get to this point of it was a right-wing Trump supporter extremist who believed that Charlie Kirk wasn't extreme enough, and that's why he had to end his life. Like, that is some extreme mental gymnastics to get there. Don't get me wrong. There are radical right-wing extremists. There are extremists on every ideological platform, whether it's left or right or, statist or anarcho. But that's neither here nor there as far as we're trying to address. This is 100% fake, false propaganda being spread by the left, by the anonymous page on X, Your Anon Central. It is nothing but a shill leftist, a leftist, bread tube boomer slop bullshit. This is how narratives get spun. This is a fake image. Okay, this is from Yahoo News, by the way. An image circulating widely online appears to show the suspect, 22-year-old Utah resident, in a T-shirt in support of President Trump. But the photo is altered. The original, lifted from his mother's since deactivated Facebook page, shows the suspect in a plain T-shirt. Okay? This is the shirt. This is the original post. Okay? And they swapped it and they altered it to make it look like this. Okay? They are evil. They are Decepticons. They are scumbags. They are disgusting human beings who want nothing to perpetuate their leftist extremist narrative that every active, shooter is a right-wing white extremist. That's their whole trope. It's bullshit. Absolute horseshit. So, I just wanted to bring that out. Do not post that. I mean, it is a shame that we have to sit here and we have to basically decipher through all of this, okay? But let's go through some of this other stuff here, folks. I'm going to do a quick breakdown here from the night of his attack, right? Because I was gone all weekend, and I'm just going to get you up to speed. This is my thought process. Why is there not a guy somewhere in the FBI or NSA scouring the internet for Charlie Kirk's assassination? What's the point of establishing a massive coast-to-coast dragnet surveillance state in America watching over all American citizens if the fucking FBI cannot locate and detain a political assassin? Okay? This was September 10th, and we are here where we are, so we're going to fast forward through this. Reposted some of Charlie's, like one of Charlie's last, September 6th, Charlie posted this, Jesus defeated death so you can live. Evil is real, therefore God exists. I am with God because I fight every day against this evil. Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. I mean, it's a it's a it's a very unique time we are living in, because I think a lot of people are galvanizing behind various different ideologies and messages that Charlie Kirk had and Charlie Kirk stood by and lived for. And whether you are a religious, whether you're a religious fanboy and you're in the Christian orthodoxy, or you're a hardcore like GOP, politics guy, or you're someone like me who kind of lives in this political space but doesn't really subscribe to a full-blown belief that the system is inherently good, and you question everything and you're a little bit more nuanced in your approach. There is a place for all of us in this political sphere, in this cultural, moral, philosophical space, that Charlie Kirk did have a message for all of us. And what you resonate with most, you can kind of, pick and decide what angle of Charlie Kirk's messaging fits and feels with you the most. And mine is truth and freedom of speech, First Amendment, political debate, political discussion, how we move America forward in such a time of strife and trials, tribulation, and in this era of educating our younger population into a generation of coherent, sound mind, reasonable, valuable, citizens of the United States. And that's what Charlie was doing. He was trying to rally millions and millions of young Americans into this conservative, right-leaning, moral-based, value-based orthodoxy. And I think it's inherently a great thing, Brandon Herrera posting, resonating right with what I said on September 10th. I said this, Brandon Herrera speaking, we might have just witnessed the most significant assassination in this country since Martin Luther King Jr. That is essentially 100% what I believe. It's not comparing MLK and Kirk as people. It is speaking directly to the most significant assassination, cultural, political assassination in our country since MLK. Okay? The assassination is the most significant cultural and political impact of our society. Then the evil leftists called me out and laughed at Charlie's death. They are utterly evil. Utterly. Okay? Let's post this because this was basically when I left. Since I can't sleep, this was on September 11th, at 1:30 in the morning, September 11th. And these are questions that, let's see how many have been answered, right? Let's see how many have been answered in the time. Since I can't sleep and every minute that goes by, my brain urges me, brings me back to who did it. First 48 hours are the most vital. Who did this with such calculated precision? The distraction man shouting, "Shoot me." No one ever talks about the old boomer just hollering, "Shoot me," moments after, right? The second suspect was released. The one on the roof, clean escape. Zero surveillance footage. They have since released surveillance footage of him walking from the roof and dropping down. They have a global dragnet, but nothing. And then they were talking about some reports of a private jet. No connection with this private jet right now. Okay. There are still people in the space right now speaking that this is still a fluid situation, and this is still potentially, allegedly, deep state cover up. Right? I do not know. I'm leaning more in the camp of, I feel that there is a well-established group of evidence, not all the evidence. I still think there's a lot of questions, but there is a group of evidence that makes me feel more secure in their alleged suspect that they have in custody right now. The alleged suspect that they have in custody right now, the connections to this underground extremist group, this trans Antifa group, this trans Tifa network of people that had internal knowledge of something happening to Kirk the day or two before in these discords, and that is dangerous. Having these online discussions where people have prior knowledge to this I do think that is interesting, and this should be vetted and kind of adjusted with. But here's the problem, folks, is that the more freedoms we give up in the attempt to make our society more secure, we are putting the nails in our coffin ourselves when it comes to a tyrannical state. If we allow the government to monitor even harder these sites because of the attempt of in this conversation of security, how much of our freedoms are we willing to give up to our government to make sure everything stays safe? And that goes with this whole narrative, this larger narrative that I brought up in my last stream, that they are going to talk about taking gun rights away from transgender individuals. And now what's kind of interesting is that this suspect wasn't even necessarily trans, but he was leftist aligned, and he was a trans person aligned, but he himself wasn't. Or it's very interesting because it brings up this conversation. How do we know? How do we know who are the bad guys and who are the good guys? All we can do is stand in truth, stand in honesty, stand in good morality, and be vocal about it. And that's kind of where I sit, right? This is a quote from Charlie Kirk from February 2013. Charlie Kirk: "Good men must die, but death cannot kill their names." That is brilliant, and it's so foretelling. That in itself should be like a. I'm gonna make a sticker of that. End of story. I got it. I'm gonna make a sticker of it. Another sticker. This is the flight radar information. This I posted on September 11th. This has since been full flight details for both flights. This data is captured by ADS-B. So this is all been confirmed as more things became publicly aware. Okay. Moving right along, this is me traveling on my flight on September 11th. Never thought I'd be flying on a plane on 9/11 anniversary, only one day after the assassination of Charlie Kirk, but here we are, right? This guy, this post, okay? Is this a Mauser 98 that was written in the report? Okay. Let's see here. So they're saying it's people were saying, oh, it's in an evidence box. It's not in the manufacturer's box. Whether it's here nor there, it doesn't look like the description of the. Okay, so here, look. Okay. This is the report from the source that Louder with Crowder presented initially. Okay. Video shows a suspect jumping and fleeing the area on foot. ATF and other law enforcement located an older model imported Mauser 30-06 bolt-action rifle wrapped in a towel in a wooded area near the campus. The location of the firearm appears to match the suspect's route of travel. The spent cartridge was still in the chamber, in addition to 3 unspent rounds in the top-fed magazine. Okay? This is the initial report that was sourced to Louder with Crowder. Okay? All cartridges have engraved wording on them expressing transgender and anti-fascist ideology. Okay? It says it right here. An older model imported Mauser 30-06. Okay? What is this gun? Okay? What is this gun? This gun is not, and I know guns, but I am no gun expert. I am aware of some extents and models of guns, but this to me does not look like an older model Mauser 30-06. Okay? Let's see what Grok has to say. Let's see what Grok has to say. I mean, I know Grok is just a fucking LLM, but let's see what Grok has to say on this, okay? So, the post questions the authenticity of a rifle found in the grass inside the original box, suggests it may have planted to its poor setup, substandard scope, and unconventional transport, raising doubts about its use for a recent high-profile blah, blah, blah. Ballistics and analysis is proposed to verify the rifle's involvement. The 200-yard shot is not a question to me. I'm not worried about the 200-yard. That is, so, folks, I know that the 200-yard shot is not out of the question for a rifle, even with moderate education, moderate rifle experience. 200 yards is extremely reasonable. It's more about the other aspects, in the fact that the reporting states that he disassembled the rifle in process. So they're saying that he disassembled the rifle in process. The rifle was in a bag, so off the footage. Okay, so this is the rifle. Whether it was an evidence box or if it was the box that it was being carried in, that I think is a secondary issue, not really of much importance. But the fact that there's so many people, the FBI itself saying that he disassembled the rifle. Okay, but okay, the rifle was disassembled. And look at this. What the fuck is this? Okay. Anyone shoot a rifle with this kind of scope setup? I know it would be not very fun for me. You know, and as far back as that scope is, it just doesn't look right. So here's the thing. The spent cartridge was still chambered in addition to 3 unspent rounds in the top-fed magazine. Where is the top-fed magazine in this bolt-action rifle, folks? How are you going to top-feed a magazine in this bolt-action rifle? Doesn't add up to me. Okay? Let's look up this real quick. Okay? Let me look up this. So let's see if there's an actual footage. So if there's... All right, so let's see. So this is from Lodi411. Just pulled this website up. I don't know the authenticity of it. Don't know the credibility of it. But this would look more in favor with the bolt-action rifle. However, this is not the gun. This is not the gun, right? And then the whole inscribed engraving on the engraving on the bullets is a thread that we saw in the Catholic school shooting with the trans person from the Catholic school wrote on their firearms and wrote on their bullets and wrote on their magazines. This is a common thread that's being pushed, and a narrative that's being pushed through, okay? I don't think that this is the actual gun. This is obviously just a regular photo, so I'm not going to use that, but so this is I mean, I'm just pulling up footage. So this is a Belgian Mauser model 1950 bolt-action rifle. Okay, this is an older model Mauser. Obviously, they make plenty of them, but one with the scope would probably be very different. This would probably be more like it. Okay, so I mean, it does look, but I'm just trying to. If it's a top loaded. I mean, are they double? Are they explaining the same thing twice? I mean, a bolt-action rifle is top-loaded, but when I think of top-loaded, I think of a magazine. But it is interesting, folks, and I'm not 100% sure. I just genuinely think that that's not an older model. I mean, it looks pretty modern to me. But moving right along, folks, this is, I still think that there is the fact that they were saying that it was disassembled, and the spent cartridge was in the gun. You can't have both. You either have a fully assembled gun that has the spent cartridge and all of the other and all of the other bullets within it. Where are all the other bullets? Because with my 308 that I have, you have a magazine that is it's a magazine that comes from the underside, and you bolt action. You chamber each round with a pull of the bolt, and the magazine feeds from the bottom. But if they're speaking about a top-fed magazine, I don't know how you're going to fit a top-fed magazine, or if it's a top-fed, it's going to be single shot. So you can't have both. You can't have spent cartridges in the firearm and a disassembled firearm and a gun that he was carrying in a bag from the roof, thrown down. But before that, he was walking with it, hiding in his leg. I mean, I guess I do understand that. We saw the footage of that, but there's still lots of questions with the rifle. I'm still questioning how that plays out. People still think it's the guns, and I said it's still the retards. Lorena Garcia, local Colorado State politician. All these people are getting doxxed and called out, losing their jobs. I mean, Lorena Garcia. Yeah, casual, I see what you're saying. You think maybe they don't want to post the real guns so they get all these weird copycat gun buyers? I think I see where you're coming from, but I just don't think that that's a viable. Why? We just, they're going to have guns. They're going to have the guns. If they're going to do it, they're going to do it. And I don't know if we're in a realm of copycat. I think we're in a realm of this weird mindset of it doesn't matter if we get copycats or not, because we already have groups and fractured cells across this country that already have the belief that these people have. We don't need any more copycats because they're already just going to be there, right? It's already going to be a thing. But I see your point, though. Just got to be head on a swivel, folks. But Lorena Garcia just calling out. Lorena Garcia is a card-carrying member of the Democrat Socialists of America. She's a representative in Colorado State House. I think she needs to be removed from her job in a voting process. Just because we're on, just because we have to vote these people out of office, right? Anyways, let's get to some, we can talk about this. Anybody wants to run for House District 35, run against Lorena Garcia in Colorado, be our guest. We got your back. This here. And this is where I kind of resonate. This is where I kind of stand. Then we'll get into some memes. We'll get into some fun stuff. We'll get into some other things here. And I want to just make a good message on this before the top of the hour here, folks. If you appreciate this kind of conversation, just like this political discourse, share this video with all your friends and family and anyone who would be interested in listening to this kind of stuff. Drop me a like, drop me a follow, give me a thumbs up. Share this kind of content because we are the galvanizing force. The Kirkening is happening, and this is where we're going to say. So the Kirkening, all right. So a lot of people are calling it the Kirking or the Kirk. I don't know. I don't like the word the Kirking. It doesn't sound. The Kirking sounds like you're doing this after like a high intensity hot yoga session. Like you got to get 30 minutes of Kirking in. I don't know. It just doesn't sound good. But the Kirkening has a nice ring. It rolls off the tongue very well. The Kirkening. I liken it to the quickening from Highlander, right? Or this global. There's a global consciousness feed of what Charlie Kirk did, the message that Charlie Kirk had, the many different talking points and political debates and positions of where Charlie Kirk spoke and how he spoke to the youth and how he was fundamentally changing and shifting and having these discussions with millions of people, not just in America, but around the world, right? Whether it was in the UK, Australia, wherever he went, he lived in this kind of debate, in this kind of political sphere, a political conversation with the youth. And now the Kirkening is happening. The quickening, right? The quickening, the Kirkening. It has a good ring. But when Charlie Kirk, the political martyr, has since passed away from an assassin's bullet, okay? Now we have to. This is where we pick up the torch. And I don't want to. I completely disrespect and disagree with how Ben Shapiro spoke about this. Was it the day of or maybe the day after? But Ben Shapiro was coming out. He says, "I will pick up the blood-stained microphone, and I will continue what Charlie Kirk did. I will pick up the blood-stained microphone." Excuse me, Ben. I just think that's a really disingenuous way to speak about what happened with Charlie, right? We don't pick up the blood-stained microphone and keep doing what always needs to be done. I would rather carry the torch. Carrying the torch is much different than picking up a blood-stained microphone. Thumbs up in the chat if you agree with that. But speaking truth to power, fighting for freedom, combating communists, denouncing fascism, exposing corruption, and destroying the globalist Agenda 2030 is what I will continue to do, what I will do 10 times harder. I will keep doing exactly what I've been doing for the last 15 years on my platform, Break the Chains Media. You can count on that. Charlie Kirk's assassination just cranked my dial up to 11. Let's go. Let's go, folks. That is what it means. The Kirkening is that. That is the energy of the Kirkening. For anyone who resonates with any aspect of what Charlie Kirk was trying to say, trying to speak out about, okay? Whether it was conservatism, Christian values, nuclear families, building community, being politically active in the youth, being all these things, that is the Kirkening, okay? Charlie Kirk just cranked my dial up to 11, okay? Spoke about the remembering Charlie Kirk. There's a lot of platforms here that did that. We had a lot of great churches and great services that did that. We are all Charlie Kirk, right? Everyone's Charlie Kirk now. This is great. We're moving through this, okay? We keep going, right? You know, I shared some of the local state services that we had here, and it is important to continue this conversation. We cannot give up these conversations, okay? And we cannot fall into the lies and to the conspiracy theory traps and this cultic behavior of not believing it, and the truth isn't real and nothing is real, and maybe there were some people thinking that this shit was a hoax and it didn't really happen. And I said, what kind of evil, disgusting human? And this isn't even a leftist, folks. This is just someone. This is tough because I question everything. Everything must be questioned. But when we're talking about the fact that these people are saying that it was an AI and it wasn't even real and it was totally fabricated, I mean, that's beyond the pale in my opinion. That's like outstanding. Like, a wife lost her husband and children lost their father. It was seen all over the world. They buried. I mean, like, it was big. It's a big thing. Okay. J.D. Vance today spoke for Charlie Kirk's show this morning. I don't know if anyone saw it, but it was a great job by J.D. Vance. You know. Let's see here. Where am I at? So these are some Colorado issues. I posted this. You know, you see the difference, folks. You know there's a difference. George Floyd and Charlie Kirk could not be more starkly different. But this is the world that the leftists perpetuate versus the world that the right perpetuates, right? And we have to ride this. Okay, we have to ride this wave. We cannot fall into violence. We have to avenge Charlie Kirk honorably. We cannot be divisive. We cannot be the same evil that perpetuates their agenda. I don't want to be that person. I completely denounce and I do not support any sort of aggravated assault or violence against people who disagree with your political point. I think what we need to do is come together and become a incalculable, overwhelming mass of good. We have to overload the system of evil with good. The more people that come out, the more people that rise up from the woodwork, the more people that Charlie Kirk spoke to in these. I think this is why the evil did what they did against Charlie Kirk, because they were scared of the amount of young people that were shifting away from the leftist, communist, Marxist pipeline that universities and schools have established and entrenched themselves in within universities, within high schools, within all of our education systems. These leftist indoctrination centers have been funneling and fueling this division against conservatism, against Christianity, against the family unit, against family values. And this is a large reason why they felt like Charlie Kirk was attacking them, why Charlie Kirk was a quote-unquote radical or extremist. Folks, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to pull it up right here, right now, okay? Show you, okay? This is it, folks. I don't know if you can see that, but I don't think you can see it. Charlie Kirk was the dam holding back the actual extremism in America. Charlie Kirk was the moderate wanting to have a debate. Okay? See, this is what I'm talking about, folks. In the schools, rationalizing they're all Nazis. On the media, rationalizing this rhetoric, they're all Nazis. Bands and celebrities and people all across the country and all across the world, they're all Nazis. They're all extremists. They're all this, hate-filled rhetoric and blah blah. Charlie Kirk and all these people are bad, and the what is it called? They call it the right-wing pipeline. Okay, and then you get people that act on it. Okay, this is how it happens. The radicalization of the left starts in the schools, and you hear it over and over and over again. How long have they been perpetuating? How long have they been speaking? How long have they said, punch a Nazi in the face? It's okay to punch a Nazi in the face. Okay? And we have to avenge Charlie Kirk in the most honorable and, courageous, powerful, galvanizing way possible. We as Americans, we as freedom-loving citizens of the United States who believe in the Bill of Rights, who believe in the Constitution, we're not statists. We're not, government thumpers. We're not pro-Israel. We're not, we're not pro GOP. I think the GOP is a useless group of turds. But the fact that these conversations were being had in schools, in debate form, to bring this kind of conversation forward has to continue. And Charlie was doing exactly what was important for the American experiment. That is freedom of speech, freedom to discuss these ideas. The Socratic argument, right? The Socratic argument and what it means to actually be involved with discussing these things. Ground yourself in your position by understanding your opposition and knowing why you cannot agree with the opposition's point of view. Okay? He will be avenged, not by blood, but by the unstoppable force of our political will. The Democratic Party is finished. Their era ends here. Good evening, Colin. Appreciate you stopping in. And I think, this is what we have to do. I mean, this is the energy that we have to see, right? This is what I was posting before, okay? Charlie Kirk was the moderate position. Charlie Kirk was the one who was able to sit down with opposition and say, why do you feel that way? And here's why I feel my way. The radical extremists killed the moderate position. So now, unfortunately, there's going to be lots of people that foment passion, rightful passion, I will say this again and again. I do not condone, I do not support any sort of violence or any sort of active aggression towards the opposition of people who want, family values, who want, limited government, Christian conservative values, and a place where we can actually raise our children in good and healthy environments. Call out statistics as statistics as far as, black crime or immigrants, or the wage gap disparity between men and women. So many different things that they've used to weaponize against Charlie's talking points, which are all factually incorrect, mind you. Okay. Yes, we need to pick up the mic and continue to attempt to have a conversation. Yeah, Colin, I don't know if you were here, but I was just saying earlier. I said I will carry the torch, but I will not pick up a bloodstained microphone, Ben Shapiro. I think Ben Shapiro had a bad take on it, because I don't think it's about... I'm just saying it was a bad imagery, right? I understand where Shapiro was coming from. And Shapiro used to be on these college tours and debates as well. Like, Shapiro did it before Kirk, but Kirk owned it. Kirk made it a whole thing, right? Bringing these conversations to young people to have these debates, right? I will carry the torch in my best way possible. Maybe it's not going to be college debates, but it's going to be through political activism, through speaking to representatives, through engaging the political landscape of our community. Oh, it will happen. This is the Kirkening. The Kirkening is unfolding right now. We are galvanizing ourselves in this energy that Charlie Kirk had in many different ways, whether it was Christian conservatism values or political, stances, whether it was, I don't agree with larger militaries. I don't agree with larger government. He was, there's things I disagree with Charlie Kirk on. Okay. But the fact is that is why he had these debates, is to discuss this, to bring about this. Okay. This is a powerful image, folks. And I know, and here's the thing. We saw these two individuals publicly on display in social media be unalived. Their blood was spilt across social media, and it was so psychologically impactful for so many people. Millions and millions of people saw these people's death, these individuals' deaths across the country, across the world. And that's something that can't be quantified. That is the aspect of the conspiratorial where I say put on your tinfoil hat, folks. But this is where I start thinking about ancient bloodlines and rituals and occult magic and this. And I mean, when we're talking about the full moon and then these energies that came and went during this time frame, during this week period, the bloodletting of like. They were riding this wave from Irena's death. It was 2 or 3 weeks before she passed away. The media covered it up, and then we only knew about it days before Kirk's assassination. So this was orchestrated in such a way on social media. So we only got to see this because they covered up Irena's death, right? So it's very strange. And then, the fact that I believe these are the first, Charlie Kirk was the first social media global, unavoidable video. Like, everyone saw it. It was on every timeline, every feed, every platform, everywhere. Okay? People taking their own take on it. And I made a vow to make sure I did not show it on my channel, and I will never show that on my channel because I do not want to be a contributor into that space. I will speak their names, and I will hold imagery of their honor, but I will not show how their lives were ended. Okay? But I think it's very occultic, it's very strange how it all played out that way, folks. This is the next sticker I'm going to be making. I will be making this sticker. If you are interested, I'm not here to make money off of it. I am here You know, I want this sticker plastered everywhere. Anywhere and everywhere. And if you are interested, follow me on my X account, Break the Chains M. It's going to be a lot easier for me to get you a stack of these stickers in person rather than mailing, just because I hate having to spend money and spend on mailing. But yes, I will be. I want to put these stickers everywhere, and I did a sticker blitz, not only with Irena's photo, but I did a sticker blitz with Turning Point's photo as well. This is a Turning Point indeed, right? I'll show you the sticker blitz. But, yeah, I just wanted to show you some of these pictures, some of these stats. But let's keep moving up here. And I'm going to keep wrapping it into this here. Folks, we are not calling for violence. However, we are going to immortalize Charlie Kirk's name, and we will exact vengeance and honor in his name. We will avenge him. Okay? We will speak louder. We will debate harder. We will spread conservative politics, Christianity, and traditional family values farther and wider than ever before in the honor of what Charlie Kirk was doing. Like I said, we have our own strengths, and we pick however, whatever, wield whatever weapon is best suited for you. Okay? I'm obviously a guy that yells on the internet. I'm out there on the front lines talking to people in person, going to political rallies and get-togethers, and talking on Capitol Hill, and having these face-to-face confrontations in a political First Amendment way, safe and non-violent way, right? But I also do these campaigns, these sticker campaigns, right? Sticker bombing Chicago Riverside over the weekend. I was in Chicago over the weekend, but I thought these were pretty cool photos, folks. I thought this was pretty iconic. Posting the Turning Point Indeed sticker. September 10th, 2025. Assassinated the man willing to have a democratic debate. America has crossed the Rubicon. Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. Stuck that on the pole right in front of Trump Tower in downtown Chicago. Right next to the Riverwalk. Her name was Irena Zartuska. 12-time convicted criminal, was released by a failed judicial system, then murdered in cold blood. Rest in peace. I posted that right on that Chicago Riverside, right in front there. Same sticker, another batch of stickers, but this is what I did in Chicago. These are just a few different examples, but this is so I will be turning this into one of those type of stickers. So keep an eye out for that. And so that's my live stream there. Yeah. So let me see, what else do I have here? So Charlie Kirk's assassination suspect under special watch. I'm going to wrap up with this, or maybe not wrap up, but we have to be aware, folks, because this situation is very fluid. There's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of things happening, coming and going. But I don't think any of this is over. I don't think we're going to ever have all of the answers clear-cut 100%. There are so many people on social media right now still to this day not believing even the current suspect, okay? Hold on. They are not believing. They still think that this Tyler person, the alleged suspect, is no different than a Lee Harvey Oswald or a patsy, if you will, for a larger conspiracy, right? And to fall down this larger conspiracy, I'm not saying it's not a possibility, but I'm trying to say that we have to focus. We have to root ourselves in truth and root ourselves in what we have the ability to know, what we have the ability to formulate against ourselves, to shield ourselves against this occult, demonic, evil perpetuation of this crime that was committed. We cannot fall victim to this mental psychosis and conspiratorial mind. And as much as I am in that camp of, a healthy questioning is important to have, I cannot, and I urge and encourage everyone to not fall down the rabbit hole of deep, unsubstantiated conspiracy claims. But that does not mean that if there is enough evidence, if there is smoke, there is fire. So let's take into consideration what is happening right now as far as this current suspect under special watch. And you know who the last person that was under special watch was Jeffrey Epstein. And all of these things tie into a larger narrative on who Charlie Kirk was questioning, how Charlie Kirk's donors and where his finance was coming in. Oh, wow. There was? Was that just today, Colin? Were you going to cover the attempted bombing in SLC? I think it was on a Fox News van. If I missed it, I will catch it later. This is all important. Did that happen today or over the course of the weekend? Let's listen to this here and let's see what special watch as investigators seek a motive. Do we really need to seek a motive, folks? This person, this alleged suspect, was roommates with a trans ideological person who was networked with the group Trans Tifa, who had prior knowledge or were privy to this attempt that was going to be orchestrated on the 10th at University of the Valley in Utah. Okay.
Authorities say they are searching for a motive in Wednesday's killing of conservative activist and influencer Charlie Kirk. Authorities say interviews with the family and friends of the 22-year-old suspect suggest he was radicalized in the dark corners of the internet. CBS's Carter Evans is in Spanish Fork, Utah, with the very latest. Carter, good evening.
Jerika, the alleged gunman remains in custody here at the Utah County Jail. The sheriff says he's still in a special housing unit under close supervision while mourners gather in Arizona.
Charlie just kept pursuing his dream.
The outpouring of support for slain conservative activist Charlie Kirk is mounting outside Turning Point USA's Phoenix headquarters, the nonprofit he founded in 2012. While in Utah, Governor Spencer Cox provided new details about the alleged gunman's personal life.
The roommate was a romantic partner, a male transitioning to female. This partner has been incredibly cooperative, had no idea that this was happening.
Bullshit.
And is working with investigators right now.
When asked if the roommate's gender identity was relevant to the investigation, the governor said,
"That's what we're trying to figure out right now."
Investigators haven't released a motive for the shooting. Law enforcement sources tell CBS News the suspect is not providing information to authorities. CBS's Andres Gutierrez is in the suspect's hometown of St. George, Utah.
This is the church where the suspect's family attended. I spoke with their bishop, who declined to provide any details because the investigation is ongoing. There was no mention of Wednesday's shooting during the hour-long service we attended.
After the shooting, the suspect allegedly engaged in a series of online conversation with friends on the chat community Discord, reportedly joking about his resemblance to the person of interest. The New York Times reported the suspect told the group the man seen in surveillance.
See, okay, so these photos, those surveillance photos right there, where's his firearm? Where is the firearm in question? Is it through his leg? I don't know. Maybe. Did they say it was his right leg? I'd like to see him carry up and down the stair. And what's the backpack? You know. But I'm not an FBI. I'm not a detective. Just a guy that yells at the internet.
Surveillance photos was his quote doppelganger, adding that he's trying to get me in trouble. In a statement to CBS News, a Discord spokesperson said it had not found or received any evidence the suspect planned this incident on Discord or promoted violence on Discord. We'll learn more about the case against the alleged gunman on Tuesday when prosecutors file formal charges ahead of his first court appearance. A vigil for Kirk will be held tomorrow in Phoenix. Jerika?
Okay, great. So, yeah, this Robinson character is a suspect. But I'm saying that if he is in special custody right now, special watch, let's make sure he doesn't Epstein himself and he's not speaking about anything. He's not speaking about motive, blah, blah, blah. I'm just saying we could very much see what happened with Lee Harvey Oswald and Jack Ruby. If he's claiming that, if the suspect is claiming that he didn't do it, okay, that's what Lee Harvey Oswald was saying. Lee Harvey Oswald said he wasn't the shooter. Someone else was working with him. Thanks, Colin. Let me check it out. Let me check it out, brother. Oh yeah, okay. Let me jump over here. Let me see what I can do with that. Bada bing, bada boom. In real time, folks. In real time, we do this. This is a real thing. Appreciate you all jumping in the chat with me, in the channel with me. I appreciate everyone that stops by with Break the Chains Media, because it takes a village. You know, as much as I am not a communist, as much as I don't support the will of the idea of the state running everything and the dissolution of private property, I do believe that community is important, and we have to be involved, and we have to work together when it comes to getting the truth out there, right? So from Gideon Askowitz, breaking Islamic terror attack foiled in Salt Lake City. Interesting. This was yesterday. Last night. 2 men were arrested after police were found explosive device under news media vehicle on Friday. Oh wow! So it happened on Friday, reported yesterday. Abdib Nazir, 58, and Abdul Justice Ahmed Nazir, that's a name, 31, were both arrested for investigation of manufacturing and possessing weapons of mass destruction, threat to terrorism, attempted aggravated arson. So this is another Utah situation, folks. Bomb Squad, Unified Fire Authority, okay, and not very many. You know, this is a smaller channel here, but this is important, right? Okay, Gideon Askowitz is doing a good thing here, trying to resonate with the message of public debate in college campuses. Okay. Brings up the same kind of thing I was talking about. So leftists are okay with burning down cities to protest George Floyd, but get upset when we the people when we get people fired for dancing on the grave of a First Amendment martyr, right? Thousands of people showed up for Kirk. This is interesting, and so they were arrested, and let's see if there's anything else we can pull up on this, but I just wanted to, hold on. Okay, we're gonna look here. So from the New York Times, huh? This was, I'm not doing this. Yeah, this is reported today, so FBI was involved reporting on this. From the New York Times, 2 men arrested after incendiary devices found under a news vehicle. So this screams ideological extremism, right? You know, just with the names alone, folks. The names alone, and call me, I'm stereotyping some names here, folks, but I don't think they believe in the Bill of Rights and the First Amendment. And you know, they might be people from out of state or out of country. Just a theory, just a thought. Okay. But these are all alleged suspects, okay? Because that's what you got to say here on the internet as a media reporter, journalist guy, okay? FBI looks like they have him in custody, but this is a developing story wrapped up here. But this just goes to show you the larger narrative that's unfolding right now in our world, okay? In our world right now, we have a larger issue at hand when it comes to what it means and what we do in this ever-changing, very dynamic, very fluid political, cultural, social landscape. Do we want to live in a world perpetuated by fear and division and vitriol and hatred and evil? I mean, there's some evil people in this world, and we're gonna tomorrow. I'll compile a nice little supercut of these evil scumbags that were dancing on the grave of Charlie Kirk and justifying his assassination. Evil, disgusting people. I don't like platforming them, but you have to call it for what it is. They are demons, they are evil, and they want more of it. Okay? I don't want to see anyone else get harmed. I don't want to see anyone else get unalived. No more no more division, okay? But I don't want to live in a world where we have to constantly fear of civil war or civil strife or the unraveling, okay? I don't want to see unraveling. I want to see the Kirkening, right? The Kirkening is why we're here, folks. We are galvanizing in our efforts, in our moral goodness, in our judgment as defined by our innate creation, right? We have an innate spirit within us that wants to perceive a greater cause and a greater purpose. Why are we here? We are here to live in truth, justice, freedom, liberty. We do not want to see people suffer. We do not want to see the genocide of ethnic cleansing. We don't want to see evil perpetuated in this world. We don't want to see war perpetuated in this world. We don't want to see the right of self-defense and the preservation of the First Amendment. We want to see these things. We want to make sure that we have a right to self-defense. We want to make sure that we are preserving our freedom of speech and limiting our government. We do not want to see a surveillance state, okay? Do not fall into these narrative traps, okay? I want you all to understand that, okay? Thanks for covering it. The only thing we have to do is fear itself. Exactly. And, and I think that there's a lot of things we can take away from many people in this world. Like I likened the Charlie Kirk assassination to MLK Jr.'s assassination, not because of the person that they were, but because the impact that it has on society. Okay. Martin Luther King Jr. was not perfect. He was not a saint. He was known to be quite a womanizer and had some extreme religious views, or he was arguably there were reports of his later life being a little bit more abusive, but that is neither here nor there, because of the fact that his message resounds still to this day with not just African Americans, but people of all walks of life, to say, judge people not by the color of their skin, but the content of their character, and we have to preserve these rights for all Americans. Civil rights, right? And apply that same, and when he died, when he was assassinated, through the same extremist ideologies, similar extremist ideologies, because this shooter didn't agree with MLK. Okay? Same thing happened here with Kirk. You get an extremist ideology, you get an extremist narrative, you get radicalized into these thought processes, and then you think that everyone's a Nazi, and everyone who speaks, everyone who's the right of Karl Marx is a Nazi. You start getting people that are genuinely evil. And I don't want to see anyone else die, and I don't want to see anyone else suffer in this. Charlie Kirk's wife and Charlie Kirk's family, there will never be enough prayers, or there will never be enough that the world could offer you, and nothing will bring back Charlie Kirk. Nothing will bring back that man into this world. And we are all grieving. We're all reeling. We all want to see a better world, but the Kirkening commences. The Kirkening unfolds right now with all of us, with all of you, with everyone listening to me, with everyone listening to everyone who's reporting on this in a respectful and a movement forward in this life. And like I said, I don't agree with Kirk, the fact that, he was, he talked about a more of a military state. He was very much in line with the GOP. I do not appreciate a larger governmental state. I want a limited government. I want more people to put power back into the hands of the people. But we need a competent voter base. We need a competent citizenry to become that type of society. So having debates and discussing these difficult topics with young people is so important. And what Charlie was doing was opening and changing the minds of millions of Americans. And that is what I think the establishment and the state feared the most, right? And I don't know if we'll ever, like I said, the situation is very fluid. I don't know if we're ever going to know the truth. We're never going to know the answer. But I believe and I hope that there will come a time in short time that we will be able to find solace and a moment of rest and a culmination to this tragedy that is the death and the assassination of Charlie Kirk. And how do we move on as a country together? We stand in truth. We stand in freedom. We stand in the freedom of speech. We stand in honorably avenging Charlie in our best way possible. We have to decide that. I don't have an answer for you. However you do it is the best way you can. And the way I'm going to do it is speak louder, speak more truth to power, be a better man, be a better father. There are going to be things that I'm going to fundamentally change in my life that I can actively participate in better. As a patriot, as someone who resonates with the message of the First Amendment, resonates with the intention of Charlie Kirk's message. Okay? Like I said, I never really was a dedicated Turning Point guy. I never really, used Charlie Kirk's narrative as a springboard into what I do. I've always just done what I do. I've always just been that guy, right? I've always just been the loud guy on the internet, speaking and getting active and doing what I've always done. I didn't need Charlie Kirk to do that, but Charlie Kirk was writing his own story as I was. He was 31, I'm 36, okay? And I'm saying right now that this has galvanized me that much further. I'm going to wrap up here, folks. I thank everyone for joining me in this live stream. I'm going to be doing another one tomorrow, Tyranny Response Tuesdays on Tuesday nights. But, folks, I will keep doing exactly what I've been doing for over 15 years, speaking truth to power, fighting for freedom, combating communists, denouncing fascism, exposing corruption, destroying the globalist Agenda 2030 narrative, keeping the Bill of Rights and what our founding documents, what America was founded on, alive. Charlie Kirk's assassination just cranked my dial up to 11, and you can count on that, okay? The Kirkening is happening, okay? Just remember that they will never let a good crisis go to waste. So you always have to press forward in your efforts, in your thoughts, in your preservation of where you stand. But at the same time, make sure you do not fall for the narrative being portrayed by their end goal agenda, okay? Remember when I said they're going to use this to ban the Second Amendment from trans individuals because of their mental illness? They are going to use this as the pretext to pass anti-Second Amendment legislation against trans individuals. You watch. You watch. This sets a dangerous, slippery slope that infringes on all Second Amendment rights. This will be the next post. Colin, I thank you for your time. I appreciate you. We will see you soon, man. Like I said, I'm always glad to have people in the chat bring in some more information in the conversation. So you are more than welcome every time, Colin. I appreciate you. We have to make sure that we do not lose sight of what it means to preserve our constitutional rights. Do not let the government, do not let them exploit tragedy and weaponize it against us. Okay? We have a lot to work. We have a lot of work to do, folks. We have a lot of work to do. There's a huge difference between carrying the torch and picking up the bloodstained microphone. Ben Shapiro used to debate the colleges years ago, but Charlie Kirk completely changed the game. Okay? The Kirkening is happening right now across the world. So many people are sick of dealing with extremist violence, rhetoric, and behavior. None of this will be tolerated any longer. You can count on that. Okay? Where are we at here? We've got a great event. We've got great events coming up. We'll talk about that tomorrow. But yeah, this is where we are, folks. This is the world we live in. I appreciate everyone that's here. I appreciate everyone that's in the channel. We cannot lose sight of our rights, of what it means to be American. Okay, we are filled with anger, but the sun will rise tomorrow. There will be another opportunity for us to galvanize our strength forward in these trying times. Do not let evil win. Do not let the globalists win. Do not let them fall. Do not fall victim to their traps. Okay? Keep your head on a swivel. Always question the narratives. Always question the motives. Okay? Questioning is healthy, but do not fall down rabbit holes without credibility and without verifiable information that can back up your claims. Because we have to stand in truth, speak in truth, stand in truth. And it's true, because nothing's real anymore, folks. And all we can do is stand together and make sure that our messages resonate together, okay? We have to be good. We have to be better than the people before. We have to make sure we have to set a precedent for the next generation. And that's what Charlie Kirk was doing. Charlie Kirk was speaking this into the minds of millions of young people. And we have to continue that. I will carry the torch, and I will make sure the younger generations of not just Colorado, but across the country and across the world, anyone who watches these videos that I make, have to understand that the government is not always our friend, okay? The state is not always looking out for our best interest. The only people that can do that are ourselves. But what that means is you have to build a backbone of beliefs that are resonating in good values, morality, family values, individual rights, property rights, the ability to self-sustain and self-reliance within ourselves and within our community and like-minded individuals. Okay? We have to perpetuate these good ideas. But tomorrow, folks, if you are interested, I will be doing a Tyranny Response Tuesday tomorrow. We're going to be doing a little bit more clash and bash with these leftists. But I just wanted to come out from the weekend. It was a very busy weekend, but with a sense of reality, with a sense of the situation setting in, but with a sense of optimism, because we do have a duty to carry Charlie's message, to carry that torch forward, but do it in a safe and respectable, honor his legacy in your best way possible, and we will always continue the fight. And like I said, folks, I love you. I appreciate you. We are going to be going over to a live stream. Let me see here. We are going to we're going to do the Beanie Cast live stream. We're going to be doing a stream over there, but I needed to make sure we got the URL for that. Yeah, just follow me on my platforms. Follow me on Break the Chains M on X. Follow me on Instagram at Break the Chains Media. You can find the website is breakthechains.media to get all the stuff there, folks. But we are going to be doing the stream. We are going to be rating the Beanie Compound live stream right now, folks. I love you. I appreciate you. Tomorrow is Tyranny Response Tuesday, so I will hopefully see you all there. And as always, fight for freedom and never give up.